When we talk about this 21 acre of land, we're not just talking about the future of the Christian Renewal Center, we're talking about the current need. We're currently using this land for running retreats and keeping our operations going. Losing this land is absolutely critical, not just for the future, but for the current.
I want to invite you to join me on this bird's eye journey as we travel down Hughes Road, and we have that entrance drive there. So if you recall our entrance drive, we have the long drive that comes in. You can see the property that's owned by the Scantlin. We just own the road that comes into the property. You can see how our property literally butts up to the Scantlin property, and it's, imagine two L's that are kind of interlocking. Most of our buildings are on our property. Two of our buildings that we use for the Christian Renewal Center are on the Scantlin property. Now, you maybe don't notice all those lines for the division, so you can understand. The yellow is owned by the Scantlin Foundation. The orange is owned by the CRC. So maybe this helps you to realize what we're talking about. But just in case you need a little more help, let's look at the overall picture of how this impacts the CRC. First, the road. The road to get to additional parking is on the Scantlin property. Thus, it makes the additional parking useless since we can't drive to it. Prior to COVID, 20 to 40 cars every single weekend was using the additional parking area because our main parking lot did not have enough space because we've increased capacity at the retreat center and now we need to have parking. Second, the property owned by Scantlin includes our maintenance shop. This is absolutely critical to keeping to be able to run our current operations. Not only does the Scantlin own the road that goes to the additional parking, it also owns the road that goes down to the bayou. This is used by many groups to do large group stations of the cross. We had actually had the plan to pave it in and to build life-size stations. This would be good for individuals as well as groups of 80 to 100. Prior to COVID, it was not unusual for the CRC to have 2 to 3 groups on site every single weekend. We have been working to create more outdoor prayer space so that they can utilize them as well as our 2 consecrated chapels. We wanted to build this Marian grotto in that site on the channel that's owned by the Scantlin property. This would give groups a place to pray the rosary for 80 to 100 people. In Thanksgiving, we plan to build this Marian grotto after we are granted this land. We also have plans for the future use of the Scantlin land, building a hiking rosary trail that would wrap around the reflection pond. This would allow individuals as well as groups to pray the rosary. Also always looking for additional space to accommodate our groups, we were planning on building an outdoor covered screen pavilion on this side of land as well. As you can tell, to be able to continue growing and building the Christian Renewal Center and building the kingdom of God, we need to purchase the Scantlin land so that it may remain part of the Christian Renewal Center 52 acres.
Your pledge will help to safeguard the future of the Christian Renewal Center as well as allow us to keep running in our operations. So I want to invite you to really discern what you're able to do to support this holy ground. I want to thank you. I know since I've come to the CRC, it seems like I'm constantly putting out a plea for money. And thanks to your generosity, we've been able to do so much good here at the Christian Renewal Center. And I'm asking you for your pledge so that we can continue doing the good. We can continue doing the ministry of drawing people into a relationship with Jesus Christ and His church through the retreat ministry here at the Holy Ground.